Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jade. I'm here to help you grow your online presence, multiply your streams of income and create profitable businesses. So I'm in a different location in this weird. Jamie's on the call in the other room and we just done our bedroom. So I thought, why not take you guys here? For anyone who's new to my channel, you might not know that I'm in a different location, in which case everything I'm saying right now means nothing to you. But this is a different location to where I usually film, but I'm feeling it. Let me know in the comments what you think, because I quite like it. So anyway, today's video is all about how you can level up your Instagram in 2022. And a lot of the tips that I'm going to be taking you through are actually ones that I'm incorporating into my strategy for this year. So this isn't going to be one of those videos where someone's like, you should do this because I do it and I'm so good at it. It's not one of those videos. It's more of a let's all learn and try new things together. Let's all grow on Instagram in 2022 together. That's more the vibe of today's video. So let's just get straight to the good stuff. So the first thing that you can do this year that's going to help level up your Instagram is to start batch creating your story content. I'm always super surprised when I talk to people and I tell people that I batch a lot of my story content and they're like, what? They're like, you do what? How? So essentially what I'm saying when I say batch create my story content, it's not the same as when you batch create a YouTube video or an Instagram post where you literally do everything ahead of time and then you schedule it. I don't take it to that level. But what I do is make a habit of capturing content all the time throughout the entire week. And all of that content I save to a specific folder called my stories folder, and I use that folder on a daily basis when I'm coming up with different stories. So for example, I might go for a walk one day and take a photo of my coffee cup when I'm going for a walk, or of the scenery when I'm going for a walk. And knowing me, I'll take like 3-4 photos, maybe like 5 videos, and I'll save that to that folder. And a day or so later, or maybe even a week later or a month later, when I'm coming up with my story content for the day, if I need something to put in the background of a story where I'm talking about my schedule for the day, for example, I'll pull up that photo or that video and I'll use that as the background. So when you look at my stories, the content, what's being used as background footage, it's rarely footage that I've just captured, right? There's still a lot of live footage on my stories. So when I'm talking about what my plan for the day is, and then I'm also sharing like photos or videos of which cafe I'm working at and my YouTube setup and all that stuff, like that's live. But the point is that I have a bunch of content that I've created previously that I can pull on and use to really help bolster my story for the day, so that I'm not constantly sitting there like, oh God, yeah, I've got to find a photo to use on my story today, or I need a video to use on my story. That's not really what goes through my mind. I usually have a bank of content that I can pull on when I need to. So that's a little insider tip there that a lot of people don't know about. I actually have like a whole workflow for stories, which has like completely transformed my view count on my stories. It's something that I'm working on as part of a masterclass at the minute, and it's going to be made available to anyone who's part of the Creators Club. So if you're not part of the Creators Club yet, I'll leave a link to the club in the description so you can check it out and you can see that masterclass when it's released. The next thing you can do this year to really level up your Instagram game is to start showing your personality and your tone of voice more, right? And this is something that I want to do more on my account. I mean, I do it quite a lot already, but I want to take it even one step further. So let me give some examples of what this could look like. Utilizing your captions so that you are actually not only providing some kind of value in your captions, but also communicating your tone of voice. You know, writing your captions like you're speaking to a friend, so that when people read it, they feel like they get a bit of insight into who you are and they form a bit more of a connection with you, right? Don't be afraid to be personable and friendly in your captions. Things don't have to be like professional or kind of dry all the time. Captions are a really great opportunity for you to kind of break down that barrier and, you know, build more of a friendship with your audience, okay? So that's one way that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is to start uploading text-based posts. Now, these became popular maybe like last year. The year before that, what was like on the up was quotes. So it was a lot of quotes and kind of well-designed quotes, right? Now that's kind of moved to more text-based posts where people are just sharing their insight and their thoughts and their opinions. And I love this trend because it's far more personable, and it means that the content that you are sharing in this format is so much more unique. You're not just repurposing like a really bait quote that everyone's heard 1,000 times before. I'm guilty of doing that. If you scroll on my Instagram, you'll see that I've definitely done that in the past. But you're not just doing that now. Now you're actually just sharing your own thoughts and feelings and opinions, and you're formulating it in a way which inspires or educates others. A great example of someone who does that really well is Steve Bartlett. He is an entrepreneur. He is the host of The Diary of a CEO. He's like a Dragon Den, which is like a British show. And I'm sure there's like other versions. I'm sure there's like a US version of that show. But anyway, so he is super successful and he has an Instagram account which garners such a huge amount of engagement. Like it's a really, really popular account. And almost all of his content, maybe even all of it, is like exclusively text-based content, and it's all written in his own words versus sharing just generic quotes. So that's something that I encourage you to try this year if you feel up to it and if it suits your niche. The third thing that you could do this year, what's going to really help you level up your content on Instagram, is to start, or at least get better at, repurposing your content. The reason why I said get better at is because that was kind of like my own, I was like doing a sly dig at myself, because I used to be terrible at this, but I'm getting so much better at it. Essentially what I'm talking about here when I say repurposing your content is learning how to create a bit of a workflow where when you produce one piece of content, you learn how to break that down and repurpose it into several more. And a lot of people think this is only for people who are across multiple platforms. So for example, I'm creating this YouTube video. Immediately after this video, I'm going to break it down into about 6 different reels. I'm then going to turn that into different Instagram posts. So it's usually quite easy to see how someone can repurpose one piece of content for different platforms when they're across multiple platforms. However, this can also be done if you're just on one platform, that platform being Instagram. So for example, if you're in a niche that's similar to mine where you share a lot of valuable content in the form of graphics and kind of text-based posts, then the next time you think of doing a carousel, which is value packed, 100% still do that. But after you've created that carousel, think about how you can chop that carousel up into separate posts. Right? So still share that value packed carousel, but think about how you can turn that into individual posts. If you're not within that niche and that's not relevant to you, one thing that you could think about is the next time you think about sharing a carousel, which has a bunch of different content from a day out that you've just gone on. So I actually have worked with someone recently where they would share a carousel with like 10 photos, all from this one outing. And the photos were great. And I just encouraged them to stop sharing all of those photos as one post and instead break them up. So the next time you think about sharing a carousel, unless it's one of your like standard photo dump type ones, if you're sharing a carousel with when all of your photos are high quality, think about breaking those out into their own posts. Or even if you share a carousel and you keep all of those photos as part of your carousel, you can still repost those photos at a later date, especially the ones which were towards the end of that carousel, because not everyone sees them and I don't want any high quality content to go wasted, right? So think about re-uploading that at a later date. Another thing that you can do, what's going to really help you level up your content on Instagram in 2022, is to start some conversations, okay? We want to start talking to people on the platform. Now, there's a bunch of ways you can do this, but I'm going to give you 2 because I don't want to sit here and bore you for the next 5 hours. One way that you could do this is to start using the interactive features on your stories if you're not doing that already. So things like the question box, the poll feature, anything or any sticker which allows your audience to actually respond to you and to engage with you. Start using that, start training your audience to look at your stories, to engage with your stories. And when you feel comfortable, really start using that question box on a regular basis, because that question box is what allows your audience to directly speak to you and you speak back to them, right? So I think that's a really great feature. It's going to really help you get more story views, but more than anything, it's going to help you start a conversation with your audience and start talking to them more. The other tactic that you can use, an age-old one, is to ask some questions in your captions. So the thing what normally trips people up with this is that they don't want to be like, comment below your thoughts if they think no one's going to comment, or if they think they're just adding that line on for no reason. And I think one of those thoughts is valid. So if you're worried about adding the, comment below line when it has no reference to the rest of your posts, I think that's a completely valid concern. You only want to ask people to comment below or ask questions to your audience when there's a nice, easy fit between your content and what the rest of your caption said. So don't just share a photo of you and your family and be like, had such a great day out here, blah, 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 and then be like, comment below. Or just be like, what do you think? Does it look like we're having fun? Comment below. That's not an engaging question, right? You've got to really think about structuring your caption in a way so that the question you ask at the end makes sense and is actually a really enticing question that people want to answer. The thought that I didn't think was valid is the one of, oh, I don't want to ask people a question because what if they don't respond? So what if they don't respond? When you start growing, people will start responding, and the days of no one responding to your questions will be a thing of the past. You'll be laughing at the fact that that used to be a concern. Just ask the question. No one will notice that no one's responding. Like, it's one of those things that you obsess over, but actually no one even notices. So that is it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, I recommend checking out this video. It's all about the top mistakes that people are making on Instagram, and basically I'm just desperate to try and stop you guys from making similar mistakes. So if you're active on Instagram, then this video is going to be very useful and relevant to you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to let me know in the comments what you thought of this new location. I will see you in my next video.